Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 357. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It is sticky and hot and gray. We are probably going to get some rain, and I think tomorrow we're dropping, 10, 15 degrees. So it's August, and here in the Midwest, that means it changes constantly. But it's been a really good week. So there's lots to chat about. I've been muscle testing the title of today's podcast, and it feels like it's going to be Write It Down. We'll see if that's what it actually is, but that's what it feels like. So why is that the title? Well, we've moved from Leo into Virgo, and it's quite the shift. And it's so funny. I've been watching several astrology videos from some of my favorite people, as you all know if you listen to this podcast. And the one I saw was so good. Lauren B. was talking about Virgo season, and just the way she described it was so perfect. You know, we had all this expansion in Leo. Well, first she was talking about Cancer, the two new moons that I've discussed in Cancer, and that internal deep analysis that so many people move through. And then we went into this Leo energy of bigger and bolder and brighter and expansion. And now we're in Virgo. And she said it takes a few days as we make those shifts for the energy to settle and really start guiding you forward. And she's absolutely right. So the title feels relevant because Virgo as an energy, a sign, is very much detail driven and hardworking and following the plan, coming up with it and following it and making sure it gets done and taking it all the way through. And so today, I need to stop saying "and so." Today, we are going to play with this idea of writing it down. So I encourage you, grab a piece of paper or your journal if you're not driving. If you're driving, maybe pause this and come back to it when you're not driving. And let this be more of a workshop podcast. We're going to shift the energy a little. It's going to be more like a workshop. And I might have some questions and you might have some answers. And as you write them down, you bring that awareness, that energy more into the physical, and then you can manifest it. You can create it. You can flow with it in a really organized, logical, step-by-step way. So perhaps pause if you're driving, come back to this later. If you are at home or somewhere where you can write it down, grab your journal, pen, big glass of water, because we move energy when we're doing all this manifestation work, and energy requires water. Okay. Let's see where we begin. Clear your mind. That's the first thing that I am aware of. Maybe take a few breaths. Leo was intense. There was so much happening. And this transition time feels like there's been so much happening. Last week's podcast, the title was In Between, and that feels true. So many people have been sitting in this unknown energy for quite a while, and we got really comfortable sitting in the unknown, really comfortable. A friend left me a message this morning. We've been really comfortable in our pajamas at home or our yoga pants, and now we're being told to get back to work. So what do we do with that? It takes a moment of adjustment. It takes some grounding energy to get back into that flow. This is what teachers and students are working through right now. Oh, school's back. Uh-oh, what is school? What is a schedule? What are classes? I don't know if we even know that yet. What are classes? Oh, if we can't laugh at it in this moment, we're going to cry. So let's bring as much laughter into this time together as possible. So begin with a breath. Can you come right here into this moment? Clear your mind. Maybe the first thing to write down are the items that your mind will not let go of. This is how we started the Sunday meditation last week. I said, write down whatever your mind is not letting go of, because once that's written down, your mind can come into this moment more fully. So if there are some thoughts pounding at your head, just write them down. Put them on the piece of paper. Don't forget things to do. Put them, finish, leave it. And then create a pause for a moment. Be still. Feel your body. Feel yourself here in this moment, listening to my voice, inviting you to pause and check in. What's happening in your body right now? If your muscles are tense and locked up, start unwinding your muscles. How do you do that? You tell your body, let's relax the muscles. Let's loosen the stiffness of the shoulders and the arms. Let's melt the back a little bit. Maybe you relax your thigh muscles or your feet. And notice when you do that, how your breath can slow down and your breath can expand in your chest. And maybe you can lean back more in your chair and take a break. Take a serious pause. Doesn't it feel nice just to be still and not be running all the mental chatter, just to focus on my voice and focus on your body, and imagine you can expand time. You can take this 1 minute of listening to these words and stretch that minute wider. Breathe a little deeper. Loosen your jaw. Do you notice how tight our jaw and our teeth can get? Especially if we're racing against the clock or trying to manage everything that everyone needs from us all the time. Sometimes we grit our teeth. Sometimes we're gritting back some really ugly words or some yells and screams. What if in this moment you can wiggle your jaw and allow your jaw to unwind some of the tension? Maybe you want to wiggle it, where you kind of move it from side to side, or yawn. Or maybe you cough or laugh, stretch it, open it, pop it. There's a great song by Miley Cyrus, Pop It, Lock It, Polka Dot It, the hoedown. Oh my gosh, my kids and I would try to dance to that in the kitchen. Oh, I had it memorized for a while. I don't know where that song went. It's somewhere in my mental library. I could probably pull it out if I needed to. Yeah, feel your jaw. Just take a rest and smile. What does it feel like when you smile instead of gritting your teeth? Can you feel how the smile invites your shoulders to relax more and your back to relax more? Yeah, being here is not so bad, is it? It's actually kind of relaxing when you allow yourself to be in this moment. So, yeah, feel what's happening in your body. My invitation, as I would do it in meditation space, which this is sort of becoming right now, maybe that's why I said to not be driving. With your eyes closed and your feet on the floor, can you bring your energy all the way down to your feet? Can you invite all of your awareness to come lower in your body, all the way down to your feet, and let your body settle into being fully here. There is a lot of unknown that will be around us for months, for years perhaps, and if we keep barreling through life and staying in our minds, that unknown is going to create chaos and confusion and mental anguish and depression. It's going to take us down some paths that perhaps are not so fun, not so easy, very isolating. And it's okay if that's the choice that you make. And also there's another choice. There's the choice to do just what we're doing now. Pause and be in your body. Connect down into this moment through your feet. Bring your energy all the way into your stillness inside of you. And we'll see what's in here. We'll discover what it is that most compels you to move and in which direction. So that the unknown isn't just dragging you by the neck down this pathway that you aren't even aware you're on. Instead, you're very conscious, you're very aware of your choices. You're very aware of your energy. And then your path becomes self-guided. It becomes a pleasurable discovery. What do I choose now? What compels me next? What feels like a fun adventure to begin after this one ends? And the experience of your life becomes so much richer and steadier, and I don't want to say in your control, because really control is such a delusional word, but it becomes in your guidance. Yeah. So if you are wondering what all of those words even mean as you're listening, trust the feeling in your body. How does your body feel as I offer you this option of you can choose your path? You can choose how you experience this time on earth. You can choose how you're feeling each moment. If there's I won't say if, truth when it resonates feels different in different people. And for me, it feels warm, it feels calm, it feels hypersensitive, like I can understand each word precisely. I can feel the vibration of it. It's very direct and translatable. When I am in the unknown or in the chaos of lots of stuff swirling, my mind gets very confused. It's hard to focus, and I feel out of my body, or knots and swirliness in my stomach. Everything feels tight and locked up in my muscles. And so I can clearly differentiate between alignment and non-alignment within myself, truth and that which is not true to me in the moment. It doesn't mean it's not true to someone else, but it's not true to me. So as you sit in this space, let's do some checking in. This is Virgo energy. It's about plans and processes and details. So feel what's happening in your body. Become aware. So if the first thing you notice, because this is what I noticed, is my mouth is dry, which often happens, what I realize is I'm a little dehydrated. If you have a match to that and you're like, my mouth is really dry, how did I not notice this? Open your eyes for a moment, write down on your piece of paper, drink more water. Drink more water. Maybe your awareness in this moment can even tell you how much. How much water do you think you need to drink? How many glasses? Write it down. And then what does a glass mean to you? Because a glass to me may mean something different than a glass to you. So picture what glass you want to put your water in. And then write down what you're going to do with that amount of water. Often people are surprised when we tune in this way in the work that I do with individuals and groups. They're like, what? That's a lot of water. Yeah. Do you know how much energy we are moving through at this time on our planet? we are moving through a whole bunch. And so it takes a lot of water to keep your body fueled to move this much energy. So trust what your awareness gave you of whatever number or pictures you see, and try it for a while. Do it for a week or two. See how you feel. Can you bring that much water into your daily activity? Absolutely, if you choose to focus on it. So trust yourself. How much water? You'll know. Write it down, do it, and then see what shifts. I would suggest drinking more of it earlier in the day so that you're not trying to get it all in right before bedtime and then you're up the whole night because you got to go to the bathroom. Try to do it earlier. Fuel your body. What do they say with flowers or grass? Water it early in the morning so that water is down in the roots and it can support what the sun is doing during the day. So maybe that's how you begin this awareness, this list. What should we call this list? Self-care. How about that? Virgo self-care. Or Virgo, maybe it's going to be more than self-care for you. Maybe Virgo awareness. Virgo wisdom. How about that? So title it whatever you want. Put the first thing on there. Water or whatever. Maybe you're not dehydrated and you're drinking enough water. Amen and awesome to you. I don't know many people who drink more than enough water. But maybe you're already there, which would be amazing. Okay, what else do you notice about your body as you close your eyes again and tune in with your body? Do you feel sluggish? Do you feel super high, overstimulated? Is there too much caffeine in your body? Is there not enough fuel in your body where you're just dragging? Is there too much sugar in your body? You'll know. You'll feel your yes or your no as I ask you these questions. Write it down. Too much sugar, not enough sugar. Too much caffeine, not enough caffeine. Whatever your knowing is as I speak these words, write down on your list. You already know what you need to do to be more in alignment with your centeredness, your optimal health. You already know. So as you write it down, it'll just be validation for yourself. Feel what's happening in your stomach. Are you nourished? Do you have enough food in your body? Do you feel like you're not eating enough? You want to eat more? Are you putting a lot of fast food in your body, or are you craving more vegetables, more fruits? Feel the answers and then write them down. If you're getting a download of information, hit pause on this podcast episode and write for a little while. Put the answers down, and then when you're ready, come back. All right, what about the muscles? How are your muscles in your body? Oh, that's such a question. If you've just worked out, you might be saying my muscles are exhausted. I could feel that today on my run. Oh, my legs were just sore and tired. My calves have been really tight this week, so I haven't been doing enough stretching or yoga. And so I can feel I need to shift from the cardio, moving fast and covering a lot of miles, to being still and stretching and soothing my muscles. So maybe you have a match to that. Okay, slow down. Do what you're being guided to do. Maybe yours is the opposite. You're like, I am a couch potato. A very happy couch potato, but definitely on the couch. If so, maybe that's perfect. Maybe that's exactly where you're supposed to be right now, and it's exactly what your soul wants you to be doing. Or maybe your soul is kind of poking you in that potato belly and saying, hey, maybe we could stretch a little bit. Here's what feels important to name as I tease my couch potatoes, because I was a couch potato quite a bit in quarantine. It felt really good. It felt really good. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was perfect. And as I gently nudge my couch potatoes, when our bodies are moving, when our physical muscles and bones and legs and arms are moving, we get the energy moving through our body more. It's like turning on the motor of an engine. It starts to get everything humming and buzzing and moving, and the energy creates more energy, and the movement creates more movement. And so it propels you into whatever is next in your journey. Maybe you're in a time of rest. If so, couch potato, high five, gotcha, it's all good. Maybe you're listening to this, you're hearing this because you already know it's time to start moving a little bit more. And how do we do that? You get up off the couch, whatever that, what's the word? Allegory? Image? Maybe you're not literally on the couch is what I'm trying to say. Maybe you're, sitting at your desk or moving around the kitchen, but you're not really moving. You're just shuffling from place to place. Did I say that well? I'm trying to not offend any of my couch potatoes because I really love you. I totally get it. Maybe you're hearing this because your soul says, we've got some work to do. My ear just started ringing. We've got some work to do, and we need you doing that work, which means you got to get up and start the engine running. And you won't know quite what that work is until the engine starts running. So how do you start it? Well, you get outside. Maybe you've been inside a lot. You go outside. You go outside and you just start walking. That was actually going to be the title for today. I was like, just start. Just start. So you just walk. And you know what'd be really fun is finish this podcast, write your list, your notes, and then come back to this podcast and turn me on and we'll walk together. You can come right to this part and we'll just walk together, and you can look around you. When we go outside and we start walking, we can see so much energy, and that energy awakens more energy inside of us. So you see the birds flying around in the sky. Oh my God, they move so fast, and they sing and they move from tree to tree, and the whole tree starts bumping around as they land on the branches. And sometimes, if we're really lucky, we see the squirrels or the bunny rabbits darting in and out and playing and hiding. And sometimes we see the cats and the dogs of the neighborhoods, and they bark at us and they say hello and their tails wag. And they're like, oh, you're moving. Yay, we'll move some energy with you. And there's this connection that starts to happen. And you see the changing of the seasons. The more time we go outside and we walk, the little bit further you go each day, you start to see patterns, you start to see cycles. You notice what the neighbors are doing. That project that they started, they're making a little headway. And we can cheer them on and send them a big wave and tell them how good things are looking. And you feel the life force that's happening constantly outside. There's so much life force energy moving through nature and animals and people. And when we start walking and moving around our neighborhoods or our parks or our cities, there's so much to see. And then that sparks awarenesses within us. And suddenly your idea of something comes from that thing you just saw on your walk. Or the bird that flies by reminds you of something you experienced when you were a child, and it brings this whole beautiful memory through, and then you want to call your favorite relative and talk to them about that memory, and suddenly there's life force moving and connection starting to happen again. And it just becomes more enjoyable. You're not in that place of isolation I described where the mind wants to take you into the unknown and take you down into depression. You're starting to remember that there's a whole bunch of stuff in this world that's kind of cool and makes your heart feel kind of warm and excites you again. And the engine starts to move the energy through your body, and life takes on a different meaning. Maybe it's a slight shift at first, but it starts by getting yourself up off of, metaphor, that's the word, the metaphorical couch, whatever that is for you. Life starts drawing you back into the beauty again, and the richness and the connection, and you feel part of it. Instead of excluded or isolated, you start to feel like you're part of it again, because you are. Because you are. I mean, I could have told you that at the beginning of our walk together, but you might not have left the house. So, there you go. There you go. You already know what happens at the end. But now you'll be hearing it again at the beginning. You're already part of all of it, and you contribute to what's happening outside of your house in beautiful ways. And your smile, this is a great example. This morning, I needed to run some paperwork to my son's school. He's going to be a senior this year, and he's decided to do virtual for his own reasons, and they're valid and amazing, but there's still a part of my heart that's like, oh, senior year, it was so fun for me. I want everyone to have that much fun. And also, we're in a different time frame. Our youth now are different, and so we find the ways to support them, and they are so engaged and connected. They're so connected. Anyway, I digress. So I had these 2 forms to take in, and I knew I had a busy morning, podcast and gym and stuff going on. I'm like, I'll have 30 minutes. I'll drive over. I'll drop it off. I'll come back. I'll do the podcast. Everything will be fine. And I parked my car. No one's there because they're still in prep mode. And I walk into the office, and everyone's got their masks on. And my heart's kind of like, oh, I hate wearing these masks. But I smile with my eyes and behind my mask, and I say hi, and I've got these things to do. And I had my Mamma Mia shirt on, from Mamma Mia, the play that's so amazing. And this sweet woman behind the counter, she's like, I love Mamma Mia. And I was like, I know, I do too. So suddenly we're talking about theater and Mamma Mia, and she's the piano teacher. And I said, how are you guys doing? How's it feeling right now with, school about to start? And she said, I just had a meltdown in the bathroom. I was like, oh, I said, if I could hug you, I would. She's like, it's okay. The virtual hug feels really nice. And she said, sometimes we just need to be heard. We just need to be heard. She's like, I feel like you're giving me a therapy session right now, but it's so nice to not have to pay you for it. I couldn't tell her, well, that's actually what I do. That's my work. But I'm so happy to be here helping you. But we just had this normal, sweet conversation about preparing for this absolutely unknown school year. And the teachers are just as overwhelmed as the students and the parents. Everyone's just trying to figure it out. The connection, the presence, me getting out of my house and driving to the school, bringing a little sunshine into the office, it just lets people feel more part of it, more like they can do it. And isn't that sort of the point of this whole life experience? We're all learning and growing and trying to figure it out. And sometimes we just need that touch from another person, energetically, in person, over the phone, through this podcast, whatever ways we receive it. We just need to remember we're all going through this together. And so it's really not so bad. I was talking to them and I said, well, I got a teacher husband and he comes home every night. It's a lot. It's so much. And you could just see them like, it is a lot. I'm like, I know. I'm just hugging you guys. What if as we get our motors moving and we're starting to get out into our neighborhoods more and go to our schools and our local businesses and support our local restaurants and start to engage and get the motor moving again? What if we just show up in such a present way, such a real, honest, open way with all of the humans that we see? it doesn't mean we have to fix anything for them or change their lives or come up with the solutions, but can we just be with them and allow them to be with us? Like, wouldn't that be the most incredible outcome of this experience of COVID? So, okay, so we've gotten out of the house. You've realized that you are part of it. Wasn't that the big aha? You are part of it. And your connection really does help other people. Whether you believe it or not, people are very happy to be with you and to see you and to feel your love and to know that you're okay so that they feel more okay. So feel your value inside of your body. You are so valuable just because you exist, just because you're here. You're here in this co-creative experience that we're living on Earth right now. So feel how your body feels. If you feel a shift from when we started this podcast together, write it down. What shifted? What shifted inside of you as you listen to me now in this new moment after all that we've already been looking at together? What has shifted inside of you? Use the words and write them down, because it's a vibration, a feeling. And when you can write the words down, it's more real. It's more real, and then you can come back to it and access it more easily because it's more real. So if you feel more awake, write down awake. If you feel more alive, write down alive. If you feel more clear, write down the word clear. If you feel more connected, whatever the words are that describe the feeling inside of you, put it down on your piece of paper. And if you're like me, do some doodling. Like maybe there's an arrow that goes from this thing to show how they were connected, or how this resulted in this. Or maybe there's a flower suddenly appearing from your pen on your piece of paper, or a little sunshine in the corner where before there was a rainy cloud. Doodle some of your feelings onto your piece of paper and allow yourself to anchor in this experience, to make it more real. Because what happens when we're by ourselves a lot, or when we are feeling the intensity of all the chaos outside and the unknown, whatever unknown, when we're feeling all of that, our minds tell us we're never going to feel better. It's never going to end. Life will never improve. You can hear my dramatic rendition of that. The mind is very dramatic. The mind is like the drama professor trying to teach us that everything is life or death. Maybe I would have been a good drama teacher. That would have been fun, right? Putting on all the different characters and playing with all the different roles. But can you feel how our mind tries to make it so critical? So black or white, left or right, yes or no. The mind is like, this is it. So feel the difference. Feel what's true inside of you right now. The truth, the way I feel it, is sometimes we have bad days and sometimes we have good days and sometimes we have excellent days. And they're all just part of the experience of being a human. But the truth is, we're allowed to have preferences. We're allowed to say, I feel like connection feels good to me, or feels more engaging. I feel more alive when I'm connected. I feel very sad and dense and isolated when I'm in this other space, and I don't know that allows me to contribute to, well, I'm not even saying those. Do you see how confusing it gets? How our mind starts to get us all confused? So come back to the words you just wrote on your paper. Open your eyes up again if you want and look at what you just wrote down. If you feel more awake, what does awake feel like inside of you? There's like a sparkliness, a buzz inside. There's a tingliness that starts to move. It's like you kind of want to start tapping your feet or putting on some music, or maybe suddenly you're remembering you're thirsty again. When we're depressed and we're in that isolated place, we're so out of touch with our body. We're so not connected to the body. And so you forget that you're thirsty. You forget that you're hungry. Do you know what happens when you forget you're thirsty and hungry? There's no fuel in your body. And so it perpetuates the cycle because now you're tired, depressed, sad, and you haven't got any fuel to get your engine moving. And so you're really stuck in it. So it's your choice. You can do that. And also remember what it felt like to walk outside and to see the trees and to watch the birds. You know how good it feels to drink a glass of water when you're thirsty? Can you taste what that water tastes like? My husband said this at our lunch yesterday. My son and I drove down and had lunch with him and his best friend and trying to get them out of the school for a little bit and celebrating this new little restaurant that had opened that we used to love when it was in another location. And we're sitting around the table and they bring the water to the table in a glass water bottle and then pour it into glasses. And I don't know that everybody really does that anymore. There's so much plastic. And my husband took a sip of the water. He's like, oh, this tastes so good. And I felt it too. When I had my sip, I'm like, it's cold. It just somehow tastes really fresh. It's got this crystal sort of energy in it. We were just all so happy with our glass of water. We didn't even order the pop. Like, that's pretty cool. That's what happens when you remember that your body craves and enjoys things, and then you start giving your body those things that it craves or enjoys. It feels good. It feels good. So maybe write down on your piece of paper, what's one thing you love to drink that you totally are craving right now? My friend yesterday was telling me about this freshly squeezed orange juice in Florida where she lives. And she was describing, I was like, oh, I need that orange juice. I need that now. How do I get that orange juice? Because we don't have that in Ohio. Our oranges are not like that. What are you craving to drink? And then food, like put down on your piece of paper, what's one food that there's a spice in it that you crave, or there's a texture in it that sounds really good, or maybe like the crispness of an apple, or this is a bad one, but I love bread with butter on it, freshly baked bread with a big piece of butter. Probably not high on the healthy list, but oh, it's so satisfying. I've also been craving Indian spices this week, and I have some in the fridge from leftover lunch, but I'm like, I think I need Indian again. So trust, what is your body saying? This specific thing is going to get the motor moving. This, and then can you give yourself what that is? So write it on your piece of paper. Manifest it, make it happen. Put that into your agenda for the weekend. And then allow your body to give you one just joy, silly joy, something that will make you laugh or giggle or feel like you're just bubbling with love inside. Maybe it's going outside and seeing a neighbor who has a pet and doing a little petting of the pet. Maybe you go to a shelter and do some petting. Maybe there's a warm blanket and you're going to sit under the stars tonight and watch the sky and see what's happening. Maybe there's a friend you want to call who always makes you laugh, or a book that you just want to sink into a chair with. What's something that will just make you so happy? Maybe it's a hug or a kiss or cuddling a baby. I don't know. What is it? What is it? Write it down on your piece of paper. And then let yourself receive that, create that this weekend. Do that thing and feel the joy of being here, of being alive, of being in the human body, of being part of this experience, this whatever it is, nutty, crazy, highly intelligent experience that we are all moving through. I don't know. What is this? What is this? It doesn't really matter. We're in it. We're moving through it. Can you bring more joy into the experience as you go? Of course you can. You have to choose to do it. And writing it on this piece of paper is a way for you to hold yourself accountable so that you bring that joy into your world, so that you nourish your body and you get your engine going and you calm down the chatter of the mind and you create more connection. So trust the guidance. Trust what you received. All right. I never know where these things are going to take us in our podcast space. So thank you for being on the ride with me today. Write it down. Wasn't that fun? That was good. All right, I'm off to get ready for my energy gym class and start the rest of my afternoon. I just wish you a beautiful weekend that is filled with magical moments of joy. And I will see you back here next week. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.